Women Now is made possible by El Camino Hospital, Pandit Parashar, Building Kids, Ultimate Lounge, Yup TV, Intero, Calcos Financials, and Gulati Financials. Well, viewers, welcome back. You saw the beautiful, gorgeous home that Kajal showed us in the last segment. We're going to now find out if you are the right candidate for a house like that. There are many stages of our lives. We have different requirements. We go through all these different financial needs. We're going to find out from Roger Bakshi, who has 22 years of experience financing a home. Roger, welcome to Women Now.
Thank you, Ina. Thank you for having me.
You are going to tell us who is the right candidate for a house like that.
Well, the right candidate is the one who has the money and who is willing and able to take a big commitment.
Right.
Because buying an expensive luxury home is a big commitment, and also it's a big investment.
Right.
So the first step would be that person has to make sure that they're really committed to make the mortgage payments, and not only mortgage payments, there are other expenses which come with a luxury home, like property taxes are pretty high. Then you need insurance and so forth, maintenance of the house. So all that costs money.
Now, with 22 years of experience, do you have those calculations right on top of your head that you know this person is making this much money, this much debt he has? Is he going to qualify for this house? Do you have those numbers kind of ready?
Yeah, of course we do. The rule of thumb is that your total mortgage payment should not be more than 40% of your total gross income. So in other words, if somebody is making, say, 20,000 gross income, this is before the tax, by the way, then your total mortgage payment should not be more than like 8,000.
For the
$1,000 a month income.
So your
mortgage.
a month.
So this includes your other debts, like your car payment or any other installment debts you have, whatever debts you have. So the total should not be more than 40% of your total gross income.
Right. So now, does it depend on any other kind of commitment that person has in terms of owning a business, or maybe a payment to be made for education or growing kids? Do you factor all those things while calculating, or it's like a base 20,
Yeah, that's
40%?
a good question. The only debts which are calculated or factored in the mortgage qualifying is your installment debts, and that could be your car payment, your student loan if you're taking a student loan, or you have any other monthly payment, like if you have any other home on which you are paying mortgages. So if you have rented that house out, then the income for the rent is going to be credited to you. So those are some of the things which I would sit with my client before we issue the approval letter, make sure that this person qualifies for that mortgage, because it's a big commitment, as I said earlier. So we want to make sure that the loan is not denied at the last moment.
Now, for us South Asians, home is a priority. I mean, we want to put everything we have for our home, and that's what we've grown up with back in India. I mean, if you could own a home, means your life is kind of done. But over here, really, when you own a home, you don't really own it because you own a lot of mortgage. Now, how do you break that mindset with people?
Yeah, that's a good question. I grew up in India, and I know that in India at that time, people used to build house or buy a house. After they retired, they got the Provident Fund money, and now they have all the money to buy the house cash down because the financing was not there. But over a period of time, India also has a very sophisticated way of financing the home. So that concept, like you buy cash 40, 50 years ago, is no longer there.
Current market situation, I mean, the interest rates are really low, but the house prices are kind of escalating. So what stage do you think we are in right now in terms of someone trying to decide to buy a house?
So the interest rates in the last few years have dropped to all-time low. So as I said, for a, let's say, $2 million home with 20% down, you can get a 3.5% APR rate, which is a very low rate. And that is also contributing to the home prices going up and up, because your mortgage at the end of the day with the lower interest rate is going to be lower. So even, let's say, if you were stretching yourself, you bought a home 300,000-400,000 more, but the good news is the rates are so low. So you
Right.
keep your payments low, and that's what
Right.
people look at. What is going to be their monthly mortgage payment for the house they are buying? So those things we do cover with our clients when I sit with them initially, and make sure that they understand what kind of mortgage payments they'll be having once they buy the house. So those all come under the pre-approval process.
Right. Now, we saw this beautiful, gorgeous house, and we want to know, we get excited when we see this house and we want to own it. You are going to tell our viewers as to why or how you think they are the right candidate for it or not.
That is all covered in the first interview I have with my prospective client. I walk them through the steps involved. How much is their total gross income? What kind of debts they have? What kind of credit they have? And those things are factored in when the loan approval is done. So sometimes, people think that they can afford this house. They're very impulsive, right? But when they sit with the loan officer, so then all the numbers are kind of spelled out, and at that point that person would know whether they can qualify for the mortgage or not. I mean, this is a beautiful house. Everybody wants to buy this house, but some people are very conservative. They might be having an income, but they want to keep the mortgage payments low, and especially South Asians, as you know, are very, very conservative.
Right.
They don't want to stretch themselves too thin because they have other commitments, like they are saving for their kids' education, and they have other expenses. So the lifestyle between the local person and the South Asians is very different in that respect. Pros and cons when you buy a expensive luxury home. Number one, a pro is that you live in a nice, beautiful house. One life to live, right? So you reward yourself, provided you're doing well economically. And then it's a big commitment. Number two is the tax part of it. The tax deduction is going to be pretty significant when you have a higher mortgage payments. So those are some of the benefits. And plus, your kids grow up in a nice neighborhood. As I said, life is good, so you have to reward yourself. But the cons are, who knows what's going to happen in the future. Nobody can crystal ball to read what's happened in the future.
Right, and if you want to really sell a home like this, it takes much longer because the smaller homes would have appreciated, and it's easier to get rid of them.
Yeah, it
But
does.
when you are in a luxury home and something goes wrong, then it's harder for you to move out.
That's true, because as you said, the bigger homes, the expensive homes are hard to sell because every Tom, Dick and Harry cannot afford to buy those homes. So they tend to stay longer in the market if you want to sell them. But when the economy is doing well right now in this environment, I mean, even the luxury homes are selling at a very, very brisk pace. I mean, they stay in the market for like 7, 8, 10 days, they're gone. Because a lot of money is coming from overseas. And now financing is another aspect of it. I mean, now even the foreigners can buy a home with 50% down payment.
Right.
So, which is a good news. I mean, we didn't have these kind of loans available like 10 years ago.
Right, right.
But now I think the financing is very, very aggressive by the banks because the economy is doing well. The home prices are moving up. So banks use the house as a collateral.
Correct.
So therefore their underwriting guidelines have become very flexible.
Right. And as you rightly said, this is Silicon Valley and this has the best weather. You cannot go wrong by buying something over here because this is the place to be. And when we come back, we are going to take you behind the scenes of our radio show, Radio Zindagi. So don't go anywhere.